Hello, welcome to the first episode of the General Opposition Podcast. Today we are going to be talking about how desperate Democrats are to get a Democrat into Congress, or not Congress, into the presidency. Been a long 3 years for them. It's so terrible. Oh my gosh. I feel so bad for them. Having to deal with someone who cares for the people. It is so unnerving for them to have to go through that. Really and truly though, you definitely see that difference, and a lot of the things that connects the major candidates that are running for president is control. A lot of them want more control, and that is a natural democratic thing. Especially on the spectrum of left and right, more left you get, the more controlling you get. More right you get, the less controlling you get. It's more complicated than that, but like just the basis of it. You see, what are they called? You have Bernie Sanders, who wants socialism. And they have this blind perspective of socialism that says it is for the people, but it really truly isn't. I don't want to have to give most of my income to the government only for it to go to some fat guy who sits on the couch. Because what happens is it's lazy. It causes people to be lazy. And since they say, oh, well, I'm going to get the same amount of money every year, I'm just going to stop working and I'll get, money for free, essentially. But that's the problem, is you don't get it for free. You get it from the people that work. And it's scary. A lot of them don't. I'm not saying all of them want socialism, because in the end, most of them aren't going to fight for socialism. You got Bernie Sanders. That's he's an outspoken socialist. They're desperate. They'll so far have had a pattern of letting anyone run for president. You have Elizabeth Warren, who tried to use another race to get into something, like lied about her race, which is something if a Republican was caught doing, he would be scrutinized, would be scrutinized for the rest of his life for that. And it's funny to see that happening, because she is still running and talking loud and clear. Who else? And that is a pattern you see, or for example, what's his name? Joe Biden. If he was a Republican, he'd probably be charged with rape and would be on his way to prison right now. But he's not a Republican, he's a Democrat, and he's getting off scot-free using the excuse of I'm sorry, I like women. And it's unnerving to watch him do that to random little girls and women. And do you really want that as your president? I don't know anybody that would want that as their president. Bernie Sanders is a socialist. We already talked about socialism. So socialism is just lazy. It really is, and we can't have it in America. It just really won't work. So the whole basis of this episode is Democrats are getting desperate. They are willing to abolish the Electoral College. It's because they know for a fact that a lot of people will vote Democrat. Most people won't. Right now, Trump's approval rating is 50%, I believe. I could be wrong, could be a little over or under. And I'm really predicting the more that the Democrats, the Democratic candidates are trying to fight, and the more Biden does something stupid with little girls, or the more Elizabeth Warren tries to lie about a race or anything like that, I believe that Trump's approval rating will go up. I have a low hope for him of winning, but it's not as low as any of the Democrats winning. It really isn't. You got Bernie Sanders, who's old and frail. I mean, I don't mean to be ageist or anything like that, because people get offended over that type of stuff. And he's just old. They're all old. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. So, yeah, they're willing to abolish the Electoral College, which keeps idiots like most of the people in America from voting for the president. Yeah, they get the popular vote or whatever, but, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're winning. I mean, if we had gotten rid of the Electoral College before Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump was president, Hillary Clinton would be president right now. I mean, she won the popular vote. It's the truth of the matter. She won the most amount of votes in America. But the House of Representatives, Congress, and essentially the Electoral College, voted Donald Trump, which is a good choice, actually. And it wasn't a good choice for them because, they get the scrutinization of having to vote for Trump. And they live with that guilt, I guess you could say. It's not really guilt. I mean, I love Trump and all. I don't agree with I don't agree with 100% the stuff the man says. I don't think anyone should. But I agree with what he's doing and what he's trying to do. And sadly, we have people, people vote for him and they're like, I think I made a mistake. He's like, no, you didn't. You watched too much CNN. Alright, one other stupid thing that Democrats are trying to do because they're desperate is lower the voting age to 16. Really and truly, the only information I'm going to give out to you people that are listening, if anyone is listening, is that I am 17, really and truly. I don't even believe I have the responsibility to vote for president. Okay, I just don't. I don't believe I do. People are idiots, especially high schoolers. And, the argument is, if a 16-year-old can get into trouble with the law, why don't they have representation in it? And that's because 16-year-olds get in trouble with the law. And you don't I don't believe you should let them have a say in anything, really and truly, until they're 18, until they're legally adults. That's just not how it works. You're not a legal adult until you're 18. Everyone knows that. But you were a young adult when you were, 15, 16, 17. You were getting taught those adult things. But, and this is a bad example, but, we have the problem with, vaping in our school or whatever like that. And it's a problem. It's not legal in our school to do that. And I don't actually believe it's actually legal for any minors. I need to actually look that up. I could be wrong. 18. Yeah, so anyone in our school doing that is doing something illegal. So what makes you think that they're going to vote right? Or not specifically right, but the right way. And the problem is with that, though, is even worse, is that when they don't get what they want, they're going to join the massive crowds of people smashing in windows, like they did when President was elected Trump. I mean, when Trump was elected president, excuse me. I'm improving this all. This is not written down in any way. And it's scary, even for a minor. I don't believe we should lower the voting age. That is just my opinion. And you could say what you want about it, but I don't believe minors, anyone under 18 that aren't paying bills, don't understand, basic stuff of life until they are living by themselves and say, oh crap, I should have listened to my parents. I don't believe they should vote. I just don't. So, those are 3 examples of how desperate Democrats are getting to have a presidential elect into office. It's a scary time. It's getting to a time where we can't talk like this anymore, and without people commenting and blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to talk like it anyway because I have free speech. Make America great again. God bless. And hopefully see you next week with more information and probably notes that I read off of so I'm not just talking to myself and trying to improv things off the top of my head. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, criticism, please comment. This will be on Twitter. Look up general opposite without an E, 1, and general and opposite. General has a capital G and opposite has a capital O, and the opposite has no E at the end, and it's all one word. It's weird. So find us on Twitter. We will probably be expanding soon, as maybe when more people recognize us, because we're not recognized at all. So, see you probably next weekend with more information. Goodbye and peace out.